Sound check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Sound check 1 2. Sound check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sound check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to the Avani Resort. Sound check 1 2.
Which side?
No, I'm sitting in front now. The code actually.
Oh,
I see you already.
sure.
Because we have a guest. Actually,
Yeah, like
Who's sitting? Is anyone sitting here? Oh, I'm about to. Is anyone? Just give our. Yeah, use this chair to be yes. We're debating it with what? Oh,
I don't mind. It's all comfortable because it's nice and cool. I.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I don't owe anyone money, so you cannot answer me like I'm owing you money and I haven't paid it back. So you're saying, why are you meeting me when you're owing me money? Good afternoon. How is everyone doing? That is much better. Sorry? I owe you? How much? Okay, check how much I owe you, then I'll double it. How was lunch? How was lunch? Should we come back tomorrow? Yes. Nice. So welcome to the youth corner this afternoon, and I hope it will be very informative. That at the end of everything, whether your team wins the quiz or not, you would have walked away with knowledge that is going to be very useful and impactful, right? Yeah, so in our midst, we have His Excellence, the High Commissioner to Zambia. Can you say hi to him? Hi. Do we really welcome visitors like that? Okay, say hi to him the Zambian way, the good way, the nice way. Welcome him properly. Can you now welcome him in Tonga?
My body one.
So, there's somewhere there is somewhere I used to be. So every time we received visitors, those that are coming from outside Zambia, would always give them a Tonga name. Okay, so what nice Tonga name can we give His Excellency? Jawota. Jawota sounds good, huh? So we have a Zambian name, a Tonga name for you. Jawota. Are you able to pronounce that? Jawota. All right, so without wasting much of your time, I will be calling upon His Excellency, Mr. Nicholas Wade, just to come and give us a speech and whatever else he has for us. A big hand for him as we look.
Hi. Is that working? Yeah. Trying again. Yeah.
Maybe there's a password. You say hi, it says Jawota.
Hi, this is Charlotte. No. There we go. Okay. Hi. Well, I'm very honoured to receive a Tonga name. I don't think I've had a Tonga name. I have many other different names from the 4 years that I spent in Zambia, including Chilufia, Kole. I was named after Chief Chinyama as well, Northwestern Province. So it's lovely to be part. And actually, I was in Southern Province in maybe I think just a few weeks ago. Anyone here from Monze, or are you all from Livingstone? So I was in near Monze in Chief Chongo's kingdom. Do you know? I don't know if you know Chief Chongo. Anyway, I was also very honoured to be gifted with my very own plot of land as well. So I've already got my seed, and I'm looking forward to the rains to begin the planting. So it's great to be the director, the executive director of Transparency International Zambia. He's here at the back there. Say hi, Morris.
Hi.
That's not a very Zambian welcome. I just say a few words about myself before speaking to you a little bit about the theme and topic of this conference. So just very briefly, my name's, well, actually no, I have a few. I was going to say my name's Nick Woolley, but it's several different names. But Nick Woolley, I have been His Majesty's High Commissioner, King Charles III's High Commissioner to Zambia for the last 4 years. That means I essentially represent all the interests of the UK government here in Zambia, whether that's on our development cooperation, on our trade cooperation, in terms of looking after British nationals here, our defence engagement, security, huge different and varied parts of our partnership. Before coming to Zambia, I was in DRC, in Congo, in Kinshasa for 3 years, and before that in Pakistan, Afghanistan, New York, at our mission to the United Nations, and I started my diplomatic career in Brussels at our representation to the European Union. So that's the path that's taken me here today, and I live in Zambia with my wife and 2 young children. very passionate about the country, the partnership between the UK and Zambia, and football as well. And the only thing I would say is it's disappointing that there aren't many more Aston Villa supporters in Zambia than there should be. Just a final pitch on this. There are more Zambian players that have played for Aston Villa than any other Premier League club. So starting with Freddie Wheeler, who you probably don't know, but some of the older people here might, who was great. Our executive director has heard of Freddie Wheeler back in the late 60s, a great Zambian legend, and others have played. Any Chelsea supporters here? I think you're better off becoming Aston Villa supporter. Chelsea's time is up, quite clearly. Great. So, all that said, I spoke a bit about our partnership and my passion for it, and the breadth of the UK's partnership with Zambia, and that extends to many different areas, but it includes areas of governance, rule of law, and of course, as we've heard this morning, our support on tackling corruption. And I'm very interested in registered. What really hit home for you? Anyone like to shout something out? You can't leave me up here. I'll say anything. Sorry? No? You didn't take away anything from this morning. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Iwo from Livingstone.
Thank you.
Sorry, as teachers, we speak quite fast. So, like I was saying, my name is Iwo from the Livingstone College of Education. My takeaway from, even though I wasn't there in the morning, I was there after, shortly before lunch. My takeaway was how the fighting corruption should be citizen-led. That was my takeaway.
So that's a great one. Round of applause. That's an excellent one. Anyone else? Shall I share mine?
Yeah.
I think that's a great point around citizen leadership, and I'll come on to speak a little bit about that in a moment. But what I was saying to the executive director actually at lunchtime, having been at this conference last year when it was in Lusaka, I felt there were some really tangible, concrete recommendations that came out from this morning. So, sort of for my list, it was the Access to Information Bill that's currently being presented before Parliament, and hearing the importance of that, but also the importance of making it a law that actually counts for something. As a citizen, as all of you can demand accountability from your government, from the officials that serve in your government, and of course, added transparency means less corruption is possible. So access to information, the importance of declarations of assets, so expanding those from top to bottom in the Zambian system who are subject to have to require to declare how they earn, how they got their money, how they got their assets. And already under law who should declare assets, you have to do so. Heard from the MD of Standard Chartered about the importance of trying to legislate to limit cash transactions, so withdrawals and deposits from banks. I think it's really important in the fight against corruption. The importance of convictions. So you'll all have seen that the efforts that are going to bring forward charges for those who are accused of corruption. So ensuring that due process is followed in that, that rule of law is respected, and that all corrupt actors, past or present, are charged, brought to court, and any allegations also investigated, be they proven or not. So quite a few different things, and I think above all, I think comes back to this point about citizen-led and the need for culture to inform a change in mindset, which I'll touch back on at the end. So there's three things that I would like to propose to you as the youth of this country, where I think you have such an important role to play as Zambians in driving the fight against corruption here in this country. And the first of those, coming back to the young gentleman's point around the system leadership, is to demand accountability. So the issues that we've spoken about, the draft legislation on access to information, the declarations of assets, the pursuing of corrupt actors and investigations into allegations. This is going to be possible if it's demanded by the citizenship. So all of you as youth, you need to use your voices to demand that your authorities, whether they're the law enforcement authorities or the government you've elected, that they commit to the things that you want to see, because it's your voices that are going to count, because your government is accountable to you, or will be when you have the chance, when you're old enough to vote, to you, the electorate. So you, in a democracy such as Zambia's, need to ensure that there's that accountability, and that they feel the need to follow through on these important measures. The second thing I would suggest is to be role models in the fight against corruption. So you're already doing that, because you are here giving up your day to be here on this very important conference on anti-corruption. So that is a fantastic start. And the more of you young people who are able to do that, to spread the word, that's so important. And we heard today this morning from some of the speakers about being examples. We heard about the Deputy Secretary of the Cabinet, for example, saying he's going to now declare his assets even though the law doesn't require it. So it's taking leadership in that regard, and all of you can have a role to play in that. That doesn't mean declaring assets, but it just means in day-to-day life, ensuring that what you do is the morally, ethically right thing to do, because that's what's going to drive down corruption. And if you can model it, if you can show as examples, not just for your peers, but also for your elders, then that is going to bring substantive change. So to give you an example, on the road to Livingstone, you sometimes encounter roadblocks or disruptions or queues. And quite often I find myself in the car having to sort of pull up in a long queue to get through. It might be a police checkpoint, it might be some roadworks, it might be a lorry that's parked in the road. So we sit there in the queue, and then I look in my mirror and I see this minibus driving down the outside of the road along the bumpy, dusty track to overtake and jump the queue. And then another one does it, and then a car does it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, I'm thinking, that's not right. But then I start to think, well, actually, I could do that too. I could just pull it to the left, skip all these people in the queue, and get to the front ahead of them. But actually, corruption is a zero-sum game. Now, this isn't corruption, okay? This isn't corruption in the sense that we think about it, but it is essentially some people doing what is right in society and wasting your turn, and others thinking they can jump the queue. And by jumping the queue, those of us who are already in the queue have to wait even longer to get through this roadblock. So what I do is that I drive my car halfway into the dusty track and stop the other minibuses trying to overtake. If I'm traveling with my wife, she hates it at this point, because after a few minutes, there's 3 or 4 minibuses behind, hooting their horns, trying to overtake. I stop them from overtaking. I don't go forward myself, but I'm preventing them from jumping the queue. So that's just a small example, I think, of where you can think about how in everyday life you can apply yourselves to be, whether people are looking or not, doing the morally right thing to do, because if you do that, others will follow. And then the third and final thing comes back to the point at the start, and it's related to the 2 points I've already mentioned. It is about a cultural mindset. So all of you to deliver on the changes in legislation, the introductions of new measures, the conviction of criminals, the broadening of society and individuals to take responsibility and model integrity. It requires a cultural mind shift, and this takes time, a lot of time. There's a very interesting story that I won't go into, but I'll just mention in Singapore, which was back in the 60s, one of the most corrupt countries on earth, about how the leadership there essentially over a period of 3, 4, 5 decades transformed Singapore from one of the world's most corrupt countries into one of the world's least corrupt countries. I think it's number 4 on the basically the corruption perception index. So very, very little corruption going on now, and of course it's become hugely successful as a result. But that transformation, and there was various different measures that you worth your time just looking to how to achieve that, but it took decades, and at the heart of it, it was about a cultural shift. So this is where you, as the youth, have such an important role to play, because in your lifetime, as opposed to anyone like me or the director or others who, we're not going to be around, well, touch wood, for a few decades longer, but the kind of time we're talking, it's 5, 6, 7, maybe more, but you will be. So not only can you demand the accountability from your government and authorities now, role model the integrity that's needed to tackle corruption, but you can also pass that on to the next generation after you, the new youth, and ensure that cultural shift happens over the next few decades. So with that, I will stop there, but very happy to answer any questions or have a discussion about anything around that. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we can appreciate him much better than that. You can have your seat. Thank you. So I would like us to do something. How many still remember their ABC? A, B, C, D?
Yes.
We shall not take or throw it to those who are still in school. So we are testing those that left school some years ago. A, B, C, D? E, F, G, H, I. Paribe Fujimu. E, F, Fuji. How do you write that one? Okay, so together as a team, everyone here, I want us to create a positive story based on the fight against corruption. So how we are going to do this is like this. We are going to use the alphabet. So we will do this, it will be happening in segments until we complete the story at the end of our time together here. So this is how we are going to create that story. Using the alphabetical order. So if I say, what is the first letter of the alphabet? Are we going to? Everyone, as long as you are in this room, to be ready and prepared and be creative and come up with something. So I'll pick the first letter, A. So I'll say, anti-corruption is doing its best. So if I come to you, you are picking the next letter in the alphabet, which is B. So the story needs to make sense. So are we getting it? So if I say anti-corruption is doing its best in fighting corruption, B. Who wants to try the B? B?
Corruption is ring.
That B. No. You don't connect. You just jump onto your. Yes. So anti-corruption is doing its best in fighting corruption.
What do we need? Yes.
Way of life.
Do you all agree? Yes. So our culture refers to our way of life, how we live, how we interact, our social behaviors. Yes.
Moments. Yeah, I was following the presentation for Islam movement and the chairperson for the Corruption Commission. Yeah, so he talked of about 84 million US dollars was was misused like in our country. So that money would have been used for skills program for young people like us. So instead it was misused. So it really affects us as youth in our country.
Thank you very much. Any last one? last two. Start from here.
Corruption can deprive us of education. Let's say a student who's not qualified to get into college or high school. They go there and they pay a bribe, they get it, and then someone who's actually qualified is denied.
And the one more here, what was that? Ken.
Okay. My name is Jonathan Nasela from Derby Shots. So as a protocoler, most of the training equipment which are sent us from our sponsor are not fully delivered to us. So we lack of training equipment that affects us also.
Thank you very much for your brilliant responses. And I think from the responses that we've gotten, we can see that corruption affects us, even personally, right? He's talking about training equipment. He's talking about access to education. These are things that affect us personally, right? Most of the time when we're talking about this corruption, governance, accountability, it feels like it's just these words for ZNBC News and, just, certainly finance news. But then all of these things affect us.
We should be truthful and organized, and also we should be honest.
Thank you very much. We should be truthful and we should be honest at all times. Yes, please.
My name is Susan from Terry Schwartz. I think we should report any suspicious cases of corruption.
Thank you.
My name is Precious Yalon Grace from Terry Schwartz Secondary School. I
Timing and order. And
Thank you very much. I think you, DPP has this question is prosecutions. But there's another issue that bothers me and I think bothers people, which is a perception that prosecutions tend to discontinue via our time.
So if the team opts again, you can opt to pass or not answer the question, no marks will be added or deducted. So if you pass it, if you say pass, you will not be deducted any marks. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
If you fail to answer within 30 seconds, you will be deducted. But if you pass, no deduction. That's clear? But they must indicate that they are passing the question within 30 seconds again. There's another condition. Within that 30 seconds, indicate that you are passing that question. So, moving forward, the quiz master will give the correct answer where both teams correctly or fail to answer that particular question. After the second day round, total scores will be added together and any minus points will subtracted from the total scores from the 2 rounds. So the scores will be tallied from the first to the second, with in mind that those that were deducted, if at all they were there, right, that will form the basis of the final score. Is that okay? All right. So I'll pass it over to Mape to give us the rules of the game.
Thank you, Muya. So, quiz rules. So, rules are part of the game. They're part of the exam. Each team will consist of 3 participants. Teams will not be allowed to change participants once confirmed by the quiz master. So, your time to change the participants is now or forever hold your peace. So at least you have between now when I'm reading the rules and up to the time we begin, just in case you would like to change the participants in your team. A quiz question will only be repeated once after being asked by the quiz master. So meaning we are only reading the question 2 times. Once, 1 person per team should state the answer loud for the quiz master and the audience. If team members from the same team state an answer at the same time, the one heard by the quiz master will be recorded. So if you speak maybe 2 of you at once or all the 3 of you, whichever one will say this is the one we heard, that's the answer we'll pick and it's the one we are going to record. So there's no room for argument. Participants are not allowed to use mobile or other electronic devices during quiz time. No Google. Hey, Uncle Google is not available. So, yeah. The audience is allowed to cheer or applaud during the quiz, however, not during the selecting, reading, or answering of the quiz questions. So that is for you, the audience. Once the quiz master confirms that that is the correct answer, you can cheer, you can applaud, but not at the time we are reading the question or when the answering is being done. The audience is also not allowed to or attempt to whisper or shout the answers to the participants. Audience or supporters shall not give any hints or clue to the competitors. Teams are allowed to discuss the question and answer within 60 seconds or 30 seconds respectively, depending on which round we are taking, provided and must provide an answer before the time runs out. And the question shall be in form of multiple choice, true or false statement, or specific answer. The decision of the quiz master will be final and will not be subjected to any change. Are our rules clear? Are our rules clear? Yes. Are we ready to battle it out? Are we ready to win?
So, Team TL and Team Tereshwas, how is the team total? How is the team total? Okay, taking, breathe in, breathe out twice. It seems Tereshwas, they are so brilliant at that. They can take their breathing.
They've stopped breathing. They're just waiting for a question.
Okay. So, timekeepers, are we set? The tally masters, are we set?
We're good to go.
Great. So, once again, we have, in this first round, we have 20 questions. So you pick randomly. You might pick a question that requires you to give a specific answer. Or maybe true or false, or ABC as the good ones. So, who won the toss? DL. DL, pick the question.
Question 1.
Okay?
Question 1. How many strategic focus areas are in the Transparency International Zambia OTIZ strategy 2023 to 2027? I'll read that again. How many strategic focus areas are in the Transparency International Zambia strategy 2023 to 2027?
By the way, this is
Multiple choice. So don't count yet. A, 3. B, 5. C, 6. Or D, 4. So because I delayed, and the quiz master, what I say goes. How many strategic focus areas are in the Transparency International Zambia Strategy 2023 to 2027? A, 3. B, 5. C, 6. Or is it D, 4? Time count starts now.
4.
Yep. Correct.
So, I'll pose a question very briefly. So, if a question, the way they answered at the second attempt, how many points are they given? Correct. So, 10. Quiz master, it's 10.
Turn the scores away from the participants that are not distracted. Maybe you can turn it this side.
Thank you.
That transfer will come and audit.
So, DL 10. DL 10. We are trying to be transparent.
And accountable.
Okay, so we will move on to questions. Can you pick your question number between 2 and 20? Question 2. Question 2. What is the theme of the 2023 Zambia Anti-Corruption Conference? What is the theme of the 2023 Zambia Anti-Corruption Conference? Time check starts now.
Building a culture of integrity and ethics to fight against corruption.
Okay, since I'm feeling beautiful today, I'll give you a score for that one. Building a culture of ethics and integrity in the fight against corruption. Of course, she has swapped the word, not so big on pronunciation, but I think they're good. So you get a mark for that.
Okay, we come to dinner. So pick a question.
Question 4.
Question
So
four.
I'll urge you guys to be using your mind so that, yeah, we can be able to hear you.
Okay, so question 4 it is the corruption perception index CPI. The corruption perception index scores dash countries and territories by their perceived levels of public sector corruption. The corruption perception index scores dash countries and territories by their perceived levels of public sector corruption. Alternatively, how many countries and territories does the CPI score by perceived levels of public sector corruption? How many countries and territories does the CPI score by perceived levels of public sector corruption? So that's an alternative question to the earlier one. How many? So how many countries? The score starts now.
180 countries.
It is. Picked up.
Very short, please speak your person. Number 1 is out, 2 is out, and 4 is out. With the microphone, we are ready to pick. Question 3. Question 3 reads, the corruption perception index is conducted periodically. Yeah. How often is it conducted? So the corruption perceptions index is conducted periodically, dash. A, every year. B, every 2 years. C, every 10 years. And D, every 3 years. The corruption perception index is conducted periodically, A, every year. B, every 2 years. C, every 10 years. And D, every 3 years. Time counts, that's now.
Every after 2 years.
No. Second attempt?
Annually.
Yes.
Yes.
Every.
10 months. 10 months. DL, pick a question apart from 1 up to 4.
Question 5.
Question 5 it is. The corruption perception index. The corruption perception index uses a scale from 0 to 100, with dash being very clean and dash being highly corrupt. The corruption perception index CPI uses a scale of 0 to 100, with dash being very clean and dash being highly corrupt. Specific answer question.
A score of 100 on the scale is very clean, while a score of 0 is very corrupt.
It is 15 marks DL. 15 marks. Tertius, over to you, okay?
Question 7 reads, in relation to corruption, what do the letters PEP stand for? In relation to corruption, what do the letters PEP or PEP stand for? Now.
50 seconds. Five seconds. 2 seconds. Down.
So
Can you the question?
Yeah, we'll give the question to DL. In relation to corruption, what do the letters PEP stand for?
Politically exposed person.
Correct. They get a 10 because it was coming from the other.
Yeah.
10.
Yes.
10. DL. Pick your question.
Question 6.
Question?
6.
6 it is. Zambia's score on the CPI remained the same for 3 years. Zambia's score on the CPI, that is the Corruption Perception Index, remained the same for 3 years in 2020, 2021, and 2022. What was Zambia's CPI score in 2022? That's the specific answer.
33.
How about you, Mark?
Thank you, Mia. Terry Schwartz, can you pick your question number? So remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are out. So you're picking between 8 and 20. Question 9 reads, which public institution does TIZ partner with in conducting the ZBPI survey? Which public institution does TIZ partner with in conducting the ZBPI survey?
Zambia.
Wrong.
The Anti-Corruption Commission.
Okay, that's right.
10.
The solution, they answer that on their second attempt.
Yeah. Pick your question. 1 up to 7, 9. Exception. The rest you pick. Question
8.
Question 8 it is. What do the letters Z, D, P, I stand for? What do the letters Z, D, P, I stand for? You have 60 seconds.
Zambia Bright Pairs Index.
Correct.
That's 15 marks, right?
15 points for them.
15 points.
Getting that one.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Very fast. Hold the nerves, hold the nerves, hold the nerves. Pick it up.
Question 11.
Question 11 reads, in the 2022 ZBPI, in which public institution was the least likelihood of paying a solicited bribe observed? In the 2022 ZBPI, in which public institution was the least likelihood of paying a solicited bribe observed? ZESCO. Not correct. Second attempt.
Right.
Wrong.
Wrong.
So your two attempts are up. We give that question to DL. I'll read that once. In the 2022 ZEPI, in which public institution was the least likelihood of paying a solicited bribe observed?
The Ministry of Education.
Wrong.
Okay, so according to the rules, when both parties fail to answer the question, the person here or my colleague over there will read the question, the answer, right? So my parent will give us that answer.
Anyone from our audience that would like to attempt answering that one with no score attached? Okay, fine. Now I'm going to say so I have prize money for you. In the 2022 ZBPI, in which public institution was the least likelihood of paying a solicited bribe observed? Go for it.
I was just thinking maybe Zambia police traffic.
No.
Yep.
Oh, it's
of time. Yes, my lady.
No.
No.
Last one. Yes, sir. No. I'll say it the way my toddler son says it. No. So it is the Ministry of Finance and National Planning.
Okay, so this question is on this one, right? Is it? So, pick a question.
Question 10.
Question 10. So question 10 is the Z. The Z. No, this question has been covered. No.
It's different. It's different. The other one was about corruption perception. Yeah, we did.
The ZBPI is a survey undertaken periodically every dash. The ZBPI is a survey undertaken periodically every dash. So this is the multiple choice question. A, every year. B, every 2 years. C, every 3 years. D, every 5 years. I'll repeat that. A, every year. B, every 2 years. C, every 3 years. And D, every 5 years.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years it is. You guys, why can't you contain the hate with the 12? It seems that the ancestors of the Livingstone has awakened you. Mape, please take it over.
Okay, the battle continues. Terry first, can you please speak your question number? Question number 15 is what they have picked, and this is the question for you. Name the regional African Anti-Corruption Convention that was adopted in 2003 to fight corruption on the African continent and in the African countries. Name the regional African Anti-Corruption Convention that was adopted in 2003 to fight corruption on the African continent and in the African countries.
The African Union Convention.
Correct. Correct answer. You get 50 points, so that's correct answer. Even, Anya, allow DL to pick the question.
Thank you. DL. Pick a question.
Question 13.
Question 13, it is. So, in the year 2022, ZBPI in 2022, ZBPI, in which institution was there the most increase in likelihood of paying a solicited bribe recorded? In the 2022 ZBPI, I guess this is the report, in which institution was there the most increase in likelihood of paying a solicited bribe recorded? So this is the multiple choice. A, health services. B, ZACC or Zambia Electricity Supply. C, Ministry of Lands. D, Zambia Police Service, the specific traffic section. A, health services. B, ZACC. C, Ministry of Lands. And D, Zambia Police traffic section. You have 60 seconds.
The traffic section of the police.
No.
Second attempt.
Second attempt.
The Ministry of Health.
No. The question is asked over to Tertius. You have only one attempt. The question will be read once. In the 2022 ZBP, in which institution was the most increase in likelihood of paying the specific right recorded? A, health services. B, ZACC. C, Ministry of Lands. D, Zambia Police traffic section.
ZACC.
ZACC it is. Okay, you can take it over.
You see the good part about being an anchor in a quiz. You look like you know the answers. You can even squeeze your eye. In the 2022 choose correct, choose wisely next time. Who is speaking the person now? Okay, go for it.
Question 14.
Question 14 reads, the most improved institution in the 2022 ZBPI with the most significant reduction of bribery were recorded was A, Passport Office. B, ZRA Tax. C, Zambia Police Traffic Section. D, RTSA, that should be RATSA. And E, ZP Services. The most improved institution in the 2022 ZBPI with the most significant reduction of bribery were recorded was A, Passport Office. B, ZRA Tax. C, Zambia Police Traffic Section. D, RATSA. E, ZP Services.
C. Are you sure?
Correct. Zambia Police Traffic.
ZL. Pick a question. Pick a question.
So we are remaining with 16. Are you getting it? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 12. Those are the questions.
Question 12.
Question 12 is, in the 2022 ZBPI, In which institution has there been the most decrease in likelihood of paying its wasted right? In the 2022 ZBKI, in which institution has there been the most decrease in likelihood of paying its wasted right? A. RATSA, or Info, which is Road Traffic and Safety Agency. B. National Registration Office. C. Zambia Police Traffic Section. D. ZRA. A. RATSA. B. National Registration Office. C. Zambia Police Traffic Section. D. ZRA. ZACC. You have 30 seconds.
66.
Still, 60 seconds.
The Zambia Police Service.
Is that the police service? The answer? Are you sure that's the question? That's the answer?
Yes, answer.
It is. I must confess that during my secondary school time, one of the most daunting tasks I had when it came to multiple choice questions. I think that's one trick I used. If I see similar questions and then similar answers, I would, for the benefit of not only losing out on every question or missing out, like I said, I would get the same answer. If it is corporate tax in question 3, again there's corporate tax also on question 4. I'll put corporate tax policy at the end of the day, at least one of them. One of them, I'll surely get it and try it.
After that, I would like to know how many times you sat for your exams. Serious guesswork in an exam.
You can bring it up.
Okay, Terry Schwartz, please speak your question number. Question 18 reads, name 2 integrity tools that an institution can use to ensure ethics and transparency. Name 2 integrity tools that an institution can use to ensure ethics and transparency. No multiple choice for this one.
Integrity communities and civil social organizations.
One of them is correct. So while we still have time. So they only gave one of them correct. So I don't know if you give the
So there's a guidance saying that in your case it's wrong because you have not given one.
So altogether it's a wrong answer.
So the question goes to the So in this case again, do not repeat what they are saying. So, Papa, you can read for them.
Okay. Name 2 integrity tools that an institution can use to ensure ethics and transparency.
Remember, it's 30 seconds, right?
Code of conduct committees.
We say, don't forget what I mentioned.
It's an integrity committee.
They mentioned. Time up. So, for the sake of time, I'll read those answers to the doubters of my co-presenter. So, the code of conduct, ethics 1, integrity committees, service charters, integrity pacts, gifts, policies or register, conflict of interest register or policies. Those are the tools that an institution can use. So, yeah, sorry. We go to DL. DL, pick a question from 20, 19, 17, 16, and
Question 20.
question 20 it is. What is the Transparency International Chapter Office in South Africa code? What is the Transparency International Chapter Office in South Africa code? Or alternatively, I may ask this question like this. What is the TIZ of South Africa code? This is a specific answer. You have 60 seconds.
The corruption watch.
Corruption watch is. I'm sure there is no date here. Anyway, that doesn't like much. It's a game of coins, eh? Or the game of titans. It's a game of titans, eh? Yeah. As the colleague is still fixing.
My voice is loud enough.
It's loud enough?
I can go without a microphone.
Okay, you can pick it up.
Terry, first, please pick your question number. So there is available questions 16, 17, 19, and 20. 20 is more nice.
20 is
Yeah, very
19,
attentive.
17, 16.
19, 17, 16.
17. Question 17. Apart from bribery, name 2 other types of corrupt activities. Apart from bribery, name 2 other types of corrupt activities. 60 seconds to answer.
Fraud and nepotism.
Awesome. Yeah, your Are we good with the records out of the
Yes.
Are we all together?
Yes.
Okay.
With a little bit of decorations here and there.
I'm assuming there has been some phrases and how to pronounce certain names. Fraud or fraud. Fraud. Fraud.
Is this live on Facebook?
Okay.
Because chances that Mr. Simon.
But these days you cannot just go live on Facebook. You must first check that Mr. somewhere. I'm not
Yeah,
watching
your
you.
pronunciation.
Otherwise, the pronunciation might be better. So we have 16 and 19. 16 and 19. DL.
Question 16.
Question?
16.
It is. What is the only legally binding international anti-corruption multilateral treaty? What is the only legally binding international anti-corruption multilateral treaty? Specific answer question.
The United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Yes, I'm sure.
There's one that's making the buzz.
I had to make sure nothing is all right. We are only remaining with one question. So it will automatically take the last question in this first round. So the question reads, illicit enrichment in relation to corruption is an increase in the assets of a person that he or she cannot explain. True or false? Illicit enrichment in relation to corruption is an increase in the assets of a person that he or she cannot explain. True or false? Time ticking. True, as in true. Not correct.
So according to my, I hope I didn't.
Come in, Mama.
So because the true or false question, you have to, there's no second answer. It's up to you. Yeah.
Because it's direct. It's either true or false. So that question cannot be passed.
He was ready to.
He was ready to answer. All right. How was the first round?
So, the talent team, make sure where they were.
Just for the record, what was the answers of the other?
Oh, okay. Let me read the answer for the last question. So it says the correct answer is false because illicit enrichment is defined as a significant increase in the assets of a public official that he or she cannot reasonably explain in relation to his or her lawful income. You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
So the talent team, make sure you were scoring new on questions where both parties failed to answer or leaving it as it is. Yeah.
So as we are just waiting for them to Avani. Oh.
Before Mape you say anything, I'm told that the losing team shall not partake of whatever we're going to partake. They can pick it up.
So imagine at this point there is no losing team because there's a second round coming. Who might want to much take on board? Zambia, who are playing. I am going to stay forward. Second half, Avani. All right. So let's take a quick break. 10 to 15 minutes. We can go and check if there's something for us to grab during our tea break. If there's nothing, just stretch. We quickly come back or regroup in 10 minutes and we carry on. Be ready for the second round.
Okay, so just one clarification is that when a question was given to a certain team and then they answered in the second attempt, it still maintained the 15 points.
No, Muya.
You're confusing me.
Sorry, let me unconfuse you. So there was some parts where they would answer on the second attempt and you'd say 10.
Oh.
It's supposed to be 15.
That's what I've said.
No. You said when the question is passed over, then it's 10. Okay, okay, let's have some coffee.
I get it.
Wow.
Terribly failing. Mr. Chad, I need some help here. I need a hand. Yeah. So I can put it there. Put it up. Just push it up.
Before I can find you. Yes, I hope there's juice, there's tea. Okay, so you can leave it like that. Are you in the room? He can make sure no one tries to eat it on the podium.
Thank you.
Just push it up.
No, I'm looking at the answer.
Oh, okay. You didn't.
Oh, yeah. But there's one here.
Yeah, let me have it. Hold on to it. Okay.
Where do I put this?
Bring it.
I wasn't even listening. I don't know what.
Beautiful. In every battle, of course, a team will emerge as winners, but even the runner-up have put in their best. It is only a learning cave. It is not the end of the world. It just gives you more drive to work hard and do better next time. Let's appreciate Terry Schwartz for scoring the and coming as the runner-up in the squeeze. So please come over and collect your consolation prize. Well done. Thank you so much for the participating schools. We really appreciate your coming. It was it was this prepared because of the time. I'm sure you are not engaged earlier. So thank you so much for your promptness. I think you have made our team the way you have interpreted yourselves as schools or pupils. The future to fight corruption is highly dependent on how you are going to take it. And we really need you on board because what I know is you people, you are learning all the qualities of a good system. You are learning, and we hope with your coming in the future, we will not be talking about issues of corruption in your generation to come. So we really want you to be on board and be part of fighting against corruption. And it should start while you are still very young so that they are going to be values are going to be growing. Thank you so much. May kindly take your seats. And I hope you don't get to leave. We have two people that came up with a poem in line with what you're doing, just to see what they are doing. Etambuya and Emmanuel, please.
This is our mission, without omission, by permission, so as to mention the information, communication, procrastination, and solutions to say no to bribe but fines.
Masters of corruption, addressed as stars by leaders of poverty.
Oh yes.
But then, should corruption be addressed by respect? Of course not. A lie they tell to sleep at night. The profiteering of souls, a right around the corner, man's daily breakfast, leaving the country in a devastating state.
Being a leader is not all about getting rich and having power, abusing the rights of others and having them poor. Be a leader that protects our rights and help us fight. Fight against corruption, fight against wrong every time.
Hope you get the sense out of this nonsense to have sense because you are becoming senseless.
Must change their colors no more. Hypocrites will gain their senses. Fans will reign. So, human nature must change its nature. Sha.
I surrender. Yes.
But I think I can try. You pick the essence of the nonsense, give it the senses. In essence, give me a clap. Break me down, that is awesome. That is awesome. The message is loud and clear. Yes.
gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been one of the most entertaining segments of the 2023 Zambia Anti-Corruption Conference. Give yourself a round of applause. We live for a day. Let's enjoy each and every single moment that we have, because tomorrow we will not have it. Give me a round of applause.
Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being lovely. Thank you for being here. TIZ, we are very grateful that you could trust us to do this work. It means a lot to us. And I hope you have done a good job. We don't want you to go to the ZACC and say, I'm Livingstone. But I'm sure it's been a lovely time for everyone here. So thank you so much. And I think I will hand it over to whoever I need to hand it over to.
Okay, as I sign out, I was your okay, I was the co-presenter, William Kubota, the journalist reporting from Livingstone, Zambia.
Thank you so much. Can we have a round of applause for our brilliant, energetic, independent, happy classes? Thank you so very much. This was a very interactive and good side session. I hope you also had fun. To the competitors, better luck next time. We'll be back, but I think we are very impressed with how you answered the questions. We counted the questions that you got wrong, and they were very, very few. So very, very impressive. Tomorrow it will be the turn for our big sisters and brothers in the debate. So you've gotten a taste of what it feels like. So I hope our debaters will be ready tomorrow. But a suggestion for our debaters with Mr. Monza, we would like to just run through with you separately, of course, so that we are sure that we'll be prepared for the debate tomorrow, which will be happening in the main hall. So from me, from TIZ, our moderators, thank you very much, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
The secondary school, you leave, you go out, the first bus that comes will put you on that bus. Then the colleges and universities, you, I think we'll remain with the teachers' college first. Victoria will go out as well, so we have a mock of the debate. Immediately the bus comes, everyone will put on the bus and we leave. Okay, so thank you very much. We can give space to our colleagues. You are Livingstone teachers. The presenters, you can take this.